prostatic hyperplasia. So this is about alpha 1. Now let us see about alpha 2. Now alpha 2, if you remember, they are kind of autoreceptors. Now this alpha 2 belongs to GI type of G protein coupled receptor. GI type, what happens? Reduces the activity of adenylyl cyclase and decreases the activity of protein kinase A will be there. So this is autoreceptor, means from which neuron noradrenaline is releasing, the same neuron contains alpha 2 receptor. And alpha 2 receptor is responsible for negative feedback inhibition. That means the noradrenaline binds to alpha 2 receptor. It inhibits the biosynthesis of noradrenaline. This is called negative feedback inhibition. So agonist, if you use a drug which is having similar action like noradrenaline at this receptor, it also inhibits biosynthesis of noradrenaline. So in case of agonist, so what happens by using agonist? It is inhibiting the biosynthesis of noradrenaline. That means noradrenaline levels are reduced. If noradrenaline levels are reduced, you can treat hypertension. So therapeutic use for this class is these drugs can be used to treat, say, hypertension because they are reducing the levels of noradrenaline. Now, in this case, you have drugs like clonidine and methyl dopa. Now, see, some of these receptors are also present in our central nervous system. So when you talk about autonomic nervous system, you're talking about peripheral nervous system. But noradrenaline is also neurotransmitter in central nervous system also. In central nervous system also, some of the receptors are present, especially alpha 2 receptors are present in central nervous system. So that central receptor stimulation will give a lot of therapeutic uses. For example, this clonidine is also used to treat withdrawal symptoms in case of opioid, alcohol, smoking habits. You know, when people get used to this opioid, alcohol kind of drugs, it causes a kind of brain changes, and that is what results in withdrawal symptoms. So when they suddenly stop taking alcohol or nicotine, they have some withdrawal symptoms are there. To treat that symptoms, clonidine is used. Exact mechanism of action is not known, but clonidine will reduce this withdrawal symptoms. The other things, there is a disease called as ADHD, Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. Most of the young boys will suffer with this. Understand this word, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. When boys, school-going boys, they will be very hyperactive. Their activity is very high. The moment they are supposed to sit and read, they cannot concentrate. So the inability to concentrate is known as attention deficit. That higher activity is known as hyperactivity. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder is there. To treat that, clonidine is used. So again, it is acting in central nervous system and doing something. Because of that, that particular disease is getting controlled. The other things, see, clonidine, methyl dopa. Along with that, one more drug is there known as tizanidine. Tizanidine is also acts on central alpha 2 receptors. Now, the job of tizanidine is a central skeletal muscle relaxant. So, skeletal muscle which are present around our skeleton. Now, when you relax the skeletal muscle cannot occur. So, during surgery, skeletal muscle relaxants are used because while surgeries, your muscle should be in relaxed state. Now, skeletal muscle relaxants, you have peripherally acting skeletal muscle relaxants are there, like succinylcholine, tuberculine. Certain drugs go to your central nervous system. From there itself, they will block the nerve impulse and they act as central skeletal muscle relaxant. Tizanidine is such kind of drug. It acts as central skeletal muscle relaxant. Now, when skeletal muscle is relaxed, it can also be used as an analgesic agent. Most of the time, what happens is when there is a peripheral injury is there, when skeletal muscle is damaged, it gives enormous pain. So to treat that pain, see the pain is received by nociceptors. So when you block that central nervous stimulation, the pain will not be known. So tizanidine is a very good central skeletal muscle relaxant, which is used as an analgesic agent 2 milligram dose is enough. Tizanide. Similarly, one more drug is there, like clonidine. You have one more drug is there known as apraclonidine. Apraclonidine, brimonidine. Both these drugs are used to treat a condition known as glaucoma. Now, glaucoma is a condition in which intraocular pressure is increased. Intraocular means inside our eyeball. The pressure is increased. That will, if it continues, that will damage optic nerve. So to treat that, apraclonidine, brimonidine are used. Both of them belong to alpha-2 agonist category. So alpha-2 agonists can be used to treat hypertension. They can be used to treat attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, central skeletal muscle relaxant action, and to treat glaucoma. Now, think about this. What happens when you use an antagonist? If you use antagonist, what happens? By using agonist, you will activate the receptor, which will inhibit the biosynthesis of noradrenaline. If you block that, biosynthesis will not be inhibited and continuous noradrenaline release will be there. So increased levels of noradrenaline will cause a lot of problems. Now, drugs in this category are, you have yohimbine. Yohimbine is there, and then there is a drug called as mirtazapine. Now, yohimbine, you don't have allopathic medication with yohimbine as there. Only certain homeopathic and Ayurvedic people are using this yohimbine. Yohimbine is used to increase vitality, whereas mirtazapine is used to treat depression. I told you already, one of the reasons for depression is the reduced levels of serotonin and noradrenaline. So mirtazapine, what happens when you use these drugs? They are alpha-2 antagonists. When you block alpha-2 receptors, noradrenaline levels increases. If the levels are increased, you can treat depression. So this class, therapeutic uses to treat depression. So agonists are used to treat hypertension, antagonists are used to treat depression. So this is about alpha receptors. Let me revise this briefly. So see again, agents, the generic terms are two terms are there. Agonist, antagonist, likewise, mimetics and lytics. Mimetics means any agent which is imitating the actions of natural physiological ligand is known as a mimetic. Mimetics are also known as agonists. Antagonists, blockers, lytics. Lytics means which is blocking the actions of physiological ligand. It can also be called as antagonist or blocker. Now, in the adrenergic system, we are looking about alpha receptors. You have alpha-1 receptor is there, alpha-2 receptor is there. Alpha-1 receptors, they are GQ type of G protein coupled receptors. Activation results in increased levels of calcium. So cutaneous blood vessels, flanking blood vessels, urethra, all of them contains alpha-1 receptors. So when these receptors are activated, they cause contraction. When the contraction is there, it increases blood pressure. Hence, they are used to treat shock hypotension, as well as that nozzle blood vessel contraction relieves congestion. Hence, they are used to treat nasal condition too. Our Vicks Vaporub and some of the inhalers will contain this nabzolone kind of thing. So drugs in this class, adrenaline, noradrenaline, dopamine. Again, these three drugs, see, we read them as theoretically, but clinical uses are very much limited because their duration of action is very less, because they are metabolized by monoamine oxidase, catechol methyltransferase. But adrenaline has got uses. It is used to treat anaphylactic shock. In fact, it is a drug of choice to treat anaphylactic shock. Anaphylactic shock, anaphylaxis is nothing but a rash, hypersensitivity reaction. You know, I told you about bee sting. When bee stings are there, histamine release is there, blood vessels will get dilated, blood accumulation occurs. Edema will be there. That is a kind of anaphylaxis. Phylaxis means protection. Anaphylaxis means without any protection. That means hypersensitivity. So adrenaline, again, remember this, adrenaline, the drug is choice to treat anaphylactic shock. Anaphylactic shock. Anaphylactic shock occurs either due to hypersensitivity to drugs or because of bee stings. Similarly, dopamine is also an agent which is drug of choice to treat cardiogenic shock. Cardiogenic shock. You know, if you remember, dopamine is an inotropic agent. When dopamine is used, it increases heart force of contractions. When heart force of contractions are increased, blood output will be there. So cardiogenic shock occurs when cardiac function is reduced or cardiac output is reduced. To treat that, dopamine is used, whereas anaphylactic shock, to treat that, drug of choice is adrenaline. Now, after that, phenylephrine, nafzoline, oxymetazoline, xylymetazoline, all of them, they are used as nasal decongestants. The congestion occurs in the nose during flu infections, viral infections. Why it occurs? Because it immediately, whenever the virus is there, body will release the histamine. Histamine will cause vasodilation, which results in accumulation of fluid, and the dilated blood vessels will block the air passage. To relieve that condition, these drugs are used which will cause vasoconstriction and nose blockade will be relieved. Now after that, alpha antagonist. You block these receptors, vasoconstriction is not there, so they will get relaxed. So you can cause hypotension. That is treating hypertension. So they are used to treat hypertension. Prazosin, terazosin, doxyzosin are used. The problem with these drugs is they will cause orthostatic hypotension. People stay in standing position and when they take the drug, because blood vessel dilation is there, all the blood will pass around and it will result in hypotension. So that is the problem. That is the reason why these drugs are also known as bedtime drugs. They should be taken before sleep, so that you will sleep for some time. You don't have that problem. Now there is another condition called as benign prostatic hyperplasia. Prostate gland in elderly men, due to the stimulation of testosterone, will undergo hyperplasia. The gland size increases. When the gland size is increased, it pressurizes the bladder urethra. Through this urethra, urine passes. Because this increased prostate gland is putting pressure on this urethra, urine passage will become difficult. To treat that condition, these drugs are given because alpha 1 receptors are also present in neck of this urethra. What happens when alpha 1 receptors are activated? Calcium releases, causes contraction. When you block that receptors, dilation will be there. When this is dilated, urine passage will be easier. So the drugs in that class are alpha-gynosin, cancerosin. Now, after that, alpha-2 and alpha-2 receptors are also known as presynaptic neuron receptors or R2 receptors. They are present on the neuron itself. Agonist, when you activate that receptor, it causes negative feedback inhibition. Because of that negative feedback inhibition, noradrenaline biosynthesis is inhibited. If noradrenaline release is not there, you can treat hypertension. Hence, this drug's therapeutic use is hypertension. Clonidine, methyl-dopa. Now, clonidine has got some other actions because it is present in the brain. It is used to treat attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and it is also used to treat withdrawal symptoms of opioids, alcohol, and smoking. Now, after that, you have the other drugs like epraclonidine is used to treat glaucoma. Tizanidine is a central skeletal muscle relaxant. Now, antagonists, they will block that receptor. Once the receptor is blocked, noradrenaline biosynthesis is not inhibited and the neuron will continue to release noradrenaline. And that increases the availability of noradrenaline at synaptic places. So this is used to treat depression. Diltiazepam, atypical antidepressant, if you see the action, it is like this. Yohimbine also causes the same, but yohimbine is not available as a clinical tablet. Some of the formulations are there with yohimbine, but the exact clinical data is not available. So this is about alpha adrenergic agents. We have seen alpha 1, alpha 2, agonist, antagonist. Remember, you need to understand therapeutic uses. Once you understand them clearly, if you understand the functions of these alpha 1 and alpha 2 receptors, therapeutic uses will become easier. Now, drugs, we need to learn them. Keep on practicing, you will get all these things. Now, leaving these things, let me give you some of the other important drugs. There are certain drugs called as, there is a drug called as midodrine. Now, midodrine